The last couple of hurricanes, I've actually had people come to my home and stay with me because I had the ability to provide some warmth and some food. I was really impressed by the speed that you started the project. It didn't get really delayed. It took the guys a while. The crew was really nice, but they were fresh. It was a fresh crew. I was looking into generators. I have been very lucky, knock on wood. For most of the hurricanes I've experienced in Texas, there was only one where I really lost all kinds of everything. Everything died. And
what hurricane was that, Harvey?
That was Harvey,
okay.
Yep. And I was at a different house. And the only thing that saved us was my neighbor worked for the power company. And at night he would bring home a big, huge utility truck that they used for like hospitals and stuff. And he would plug in everybody on the cul-de-sac. So at night we'd get a little bit of, the refrigerator would run for a bit and stuff like that. I learned to be a person who used gas. Okay. So I've been able to have a fireplace and my stove is gas. And the last couple of hurricanes, I've actually had people come to my home and stay with me because I had the ability to provide some warmth and some food. And I've thought, I should get a generator, because it doesn't always do 100% run. You know what I mean? There's going to be a time when we have something that hits this area, which it hasn't yet, thank God, and knock on wood. But I wanted to be prepared, and I was overwhelmed by the costs of generators and by how some of the generators were supposed to be really good on paper. But when I talked to people, they had flaws and errors and things that went on that, disturbed other people. And I'm very handy with things, but I'm not super tech with like electronics and gas. So I looked at it, and a friend of mine gave me an old generator I have, just in case. It's an old gas one. But when I saw the ad, I thought, I would at least look into it and see, if there's a possibility. Normally I don't respond to ads like that, but I did. I don't really know why, but I'm glad I did.
How did it live up to expectations?
Well, so far, it's been good. I was really impressed by the speed that you started the project. It didn't get really delayed. It took the guys a while. The crew was really nice, but they were fresh. It was a fresh crew. I was very pleased with the 12-cent universal payment forever on the gas with none of the add-ons. I have APG and E now, and it was supposed to be like a 9-cent deal. But I pay enormous gas bills, and I try to be really frugal. I don't run the air conditioner all the time. I don't run the heater all the time. I'm raising 3 grandkids, and I'm a school teacher, so economics are important to me. But the rates seem to be going up, and I was coming up to, actually I'm hoping this gets installed before. No, it didn't. I just had to renew. I'm going to have to break that somehow. APG&E.
Yeah.
Because I re-signed something with them, and I'm not sure.
We'll cover that entirely. Okay. We cover the annual cancellation.
You can help me walk through that.
Yep.
Yeah.
We even switched over for you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because the rate increase just in the last 6 months was quite significant, and so to have a deal where it's going to be 12 cents forever with no extra costs and no little pudgies coming in from Texas, New Mexico or whatever, that's going to be really helpful with my budgeting too.
Yeah. So would you say that the one thing, like the defining factor that you faced with your energy that made you start looking for solutions was just a really high bill?
Yeah, the rise in the costs. Yeah, significant rise. I've been in Texas for 20 years, and the last couple of years it really dramatically jumped.
And so what would you say the primary thing that convinced you to take a leap, jump on the program on the virtual power plant, besides me? Is it the battery backup or lower rate?
I think it was the battery backup to a great extent. I understand that it's not my system, which takes some responsibility of upkeep off of me. But I also understand that if push comes to shove, I'm sort of like first in line to get the benefits from the system being here. Yep,
100%. So what would you tell somebody who is in the same position that you were in 6 weeks ago before we met? now that you've learned more about the program, you've seen the process?
I look at it as, I talked to several people like realtors, and they told me that usually solar systems are sort of a negative thing for people buying homes, which surprised me. I thought it would be a positive thing.
Okay.
But apparently, a lot of people are still paying. And so the assumption of the burden goes to the person buying the home, and it turns people off when they see solar panels on roofs. I think it would actually be a selling point with my home to have it already paid for, already installed, and already there to be a backup for somebody else as well.
Definitely.
So it's nice that it just transfers smoothly over and there's no paperwork or really anything to go along.
Yeah, normally there's a big loan associated with it and that has to be paid off, and then there's no battery backup.
Right.
So you're almost just sending them debt.
Yeah.
Whereas with this, it's just a lower rate with a battery backup.
Right, and the backup is, I think, the important thing, because when you need it, it's going to be there. It's not something you wish you had or can't access. I would think that with some of the solar panels, it's probably harder to access.
If you had to describe our service in 3 words, what would they be?
Let's see. I can think of 2: fast and friendly, and economical.
Economical.
There we go.
I love it. Would you recommend to a friend or family member? If so, why? I know we already kind of went over.
Yeah, I probably would. I'm very sort of shy. Sales doesn't really flow with me.
Well, I remember though, when, I think it was a few days after we spoke, and you and your daughter called me and you were like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like, you had thought about it for a couple of days.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is crazy. Like, this is
It's good.
too good to be true. And you're like, how can we be affiliates?
Yeah.
How can we refer everyone?
Yeah.
So I'm excited for that when you get that first 12-cent bill.
Yes. Probably that'll, out of the hiatus of waiting.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, amazing. I'm super excited to get all the electrical up and running.
Me too.
Super excited to get that first big bill reveal, first little bill reveal.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be nice.
And then I'm not going to wish for any power outages, but I am excited that whenever there is one.
Yeah. Thank you very much. You've been a good guy.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Right.
Amazing.
So I'm very pleased with it, and I'm just waiting now for everything to get hooked up.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you can certainly come back and talk to me again.
Yeah, we'll do a big bill reveal.
Yeah.
So we look at your electrical bill and we'll look at the rate on it. It's like, oh, wow.
Yeah. And I won't have to be quite so cautious with things like heat and, air conditioning. And knock on wood, everything will go well. And thank you, Jesus.